When you were at Arizona, just to shift gears a little bit, I'm curious about the issue of the LSAT and taking it multiple times
Yeah,
because retaking is more common
yeah,
than ever before. They've increased the number of times it's being offered.
yes.
I'm wondering, in your conversations with current admission officers and based on your experience, what's your intuition about someone who's taken it 3, 4, or 5 times or more?
Yeah, so, it's as you know, as most people know by now, the highest score is reported to U.S. News and World Report. It's reported, so that's important to know. What I think is equally important to know for applicants is that law schools look carefully at your other tests results, and you know they don't ignore the low test score and say, oh, well, they got a 170, so we're just going to report that, and that's good. We're good to go here. Because ultimately, I think what law schools are looking for are good students, consistent, good students. So I don't want to, I don't want to suggest that the highest score goes and nobody ever bats an eye at the other scores. When I used to review files, I definitely used to. I don't know if you remember, in Sesame Street, there was one of these kids is doing his own thing, or one of these things is
Not
doing
like the
something
others,
different.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
not
do
like the
remember
others. So
seeing.
yeah, exactly, you got it. So I used to. I when I was reviewing files, I kind of used to play that game, and I'd say, okay, so all right, we got a 3.0 GPA, and we got a 150, and we got a 152, and we got a 170, and we got mediocre letters of recommendation. What kind of student is this? And vice versa. We have a 3.8 GPA, we got a 170, and we got a 155. Which one am I? Which of these things is the outlier, basically? So you're really looking at the whole picture, and all of those points are important, including all scores. So I'm not even answering your question yet. I'm really talking a lot here.
No, no, this is all useful to think about, though. It makes me think a lot more about the idea of these splitters,
Yeah,
high LSAT, low GPA.
yeah,
Could that
right,
be enough? If your GPA was terrible and your LSAT was amazing,
yeah,
that's great that you can pull it all together for one day, but then
yes.
you've got 3 years of law school ahead of you.
Right, right. And these are all things that admission committees are trying to analyze and assess, because ultimately it is important I'm not going to lie, it's important to consider kind of that business perspective of what's going to be reported, what does that mean to the rankings. But ultimately, at least at Arizona and other schools that I know, and I hope all schools, they're looking for more than that. They're looking for what kind of students are going to fit in, what kind of students are going to be excellent in the classroom. They're looking at that academic piece of it. So to go back to your question, yeah, I think it's kind of dangerous for students to hopefully. I hope they don't just think they can take it because it's offered, um, because the admissions committees are going to be looking certainly at all the scores, and they're going to be, at least if I were sitting on the admissions committee, I would be looking at, I'd be considering judgment too, and I'd be like, what's going on here? So I would certainly, um, I would certainly need an explanation, I think, in the form of perhaps an addendum, to figure out what happened. Why are they taking so many tests? Which one should I be looking at, and what are the circumstances? Um, when I was at Arizona, more for G more for grade point average GPA considerations, but we would actually call candidates when they didn't provide an explanation for some things. We'd call or email them and probably freak them right out, by saying, "Hey, I noticed this in your application. You didn't address it. What happened, or what's going on?" So probably a lot of schools would not do that. They might, but what you don't want to happen is them to make a bad assumption, or an assumption um, that you don't want them to make.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.